78th episode of the
Let's Go podcast. Back again, our second recap Gridiron Gauntlet podcast. And we here with the Tier 2 champions, Avi Kurtz, Moshe Levy repping Smash House. Absolute domination in the Tier 2 Gridiron Gauntlet champions. And we are going to talk about the whole event and how the day went with them. We got Jonas Lohinger, of course, the commissioner of the Gridiron Gauntlet as we've come to know him. And, of course, Dave Gottlieb, the head of the show. Dave, take it away.
I'm the head of the show. The head of the show is sending out YouTube links so everybody can follow along. But we're very happy to have the young talent on the show. You know, besides your brother Harry, Avi, these are the youngest guys we've ever had on Let's Go. We haven't had high schoolers before, I don't think.
That is true. I think Harry Edelman is no longer the youngest.
No, Harry is the youngest.
Oh, so what's the big? You're saying these guys are second
9 years old. He can barely
okay,
string two sentences together. You know.
Got it. Okay,
Is he going to be watching this? Is
Harry watches? Harry Edelman watches every podcast.
I'm a little salty at Harry because he was supposed to be working at the Gridiron Gauntlet and he lasted about 3 hours, and then his ankles and knees were hurting. But let me get out.
He picked it up in the playoffs and championships. He live streamed the championships and he videoed the whole playoffs. He took a 2-hour break in the middle.
All right, I sent out the link. Did you guys get it, Avi and Moshe?
Let me check. Oh, how we doing?
Yes. What should I do? Post on my stand?
I'm just.
You got it. You'll send it.
Guys, just take your time. Let the hundreds of viewers just stare at you while you just banter with each other. And
No, what's gonna happen is they're gonna get all advertisement deals from this link. This is the start of their future, you know.
you're saying this is very important.
Yeah.
Start.
Jonas-san, by the way, while they were saying the link, these kids had the chutzpah to tell me that it's not a big deal that Mo Sports, led by Avi Edelman on the mound, made the championship 2 out of 3 years because there's only 4 or 5 teams in the Monday Night League. Such immature kids, no?
Jonas-san,
Avi,
if
if
you're playing in a 4-team league, you have a 25% chance of making the championships.
Less of your no, Kurt's less of your pitchers Avi Edelman. So it's like 18%.
Absolute chutzpah these kids have. Absolute chutzpah. Anyways, Dave, let's get things going. Yeah, you ready to roll?
Let's get things going. So we have here 2 very young players. Something pretty amazing happened on Sunday night. I didn't watch too much football. I was busy. I was busy schlepping crap all day. And anyway, I watched a couple of games. So Mo Feintuch messages me, "Did you see any Lions today?" That's Mo's new his new catchphrase for talented athletes. Not just talented. Sometimes he'll watch the podcast and Mo will say to me, "Is this guy an alpha male? Is this guy not an alpha male?" I mean, he'll have his own determination. He'll pick outcomes of games based on the personalities of the people in the podcast. So I said I saw Zin. Zin is definitely a Lion. And I said I saw this new kid, Moshe Levy. And no disrespect, Mr. Kurtz.
All to him right here. This is the dog.
So he's like, "Oh, he's on our team. He's on Mo's Sports on Monday nights. I know how to pick the winners." So I said, "That's great." And then he told me a lot of good stuff about you, Avi. Although he said you and him have a history of chirping at each other. I don't really know what.
Funny, yes. He played with this year in the Yeshiva League, in the Netzach League, where me and Moshe played together mainly. We played against Darke. And Mo was actually coaching a team that didn't make the playoffs, and he volunteered to pick up another team in the playoffs. He picked up a team that was playing against us. You know, a snowy game, ice on the field. Dom's out there in his shorts, and we're playing against them. And we have a sustained drive, and I make a rollout, throw a touchdown. And I turned to Mo. I said, "Don't worry, there'll be a new team for you to coach next week."
Very good.
And he lost it, and he started trash talking me on the field. I'm like, "Man, you're coaching, you're trash talking players out here," and like he starts telling me my balls deflated, yada yada.
Mo said that. Wow.
You know, like me and Moshe like to get competitive on the field. You know, bring it gets fun. But I wasn't expecting anything to last after, and he continues. He gave me a text that night, calling me disrespectful and the whole thing. So we ended up chirping a little bit more over text. Yeah, a little bit more over text. You know.
Wait, Mo said you're disrespectful?
If it wasn't for Mo's privacy, I would read those texts right now.
Wait, so how did this 360 develop, in which Mo is asking you guys to play on our Monday night softball team? I don't know I don't know if I want this chemistry on our team. I might have to talk to Mo about Mo. Everyone knows that Avi Edelman is the influence behind the team. So if I give one call to Mo, you guys will be sitting with no roster as of 45 minutes from now.
So ultimately, what happened was that anyway, I was like, okay, we're like, okay, anyway, great game, fun. Sorry if I offended you. And then he's like, and then he texted, he just like, yeah, whatever, it's all good. We'll have to make a team sometime. And then he texted me the next day. He's like, by the way, I'm the captain of a team in the spring. Do you want to play for us? So me and Moshe played together. We won the fall league. Also tier 2. We got to start winning some tier 1 things.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I was gonna bring that up in a few minutes, but
Do we want Yossi Levenger on? Do we want Yossi Levenger on? He's asking to come on.
No,
Why not?
what do you mean? He stuck his way out. He's not even on our team.
I'm down.
I actually I would like him to come on because people are saying without Yossi, you guys would have gotten bounced in like the quarterfinals.
No way.
That's
I'm
what,
serious.
That's what they're saying, Avi. They're saying Yossi Levenger was the key to your
He
success.
single-handedly won you guys the quarterfinals and the
Semifinals and
semifinals.
championships. Like,
Championship is hard to argue because it was 40 to nothing or whatever.
and
So it's
still,
hard.
Guys.
and still, I got the complaints of the championships. It was Yossi
You understand?
Levenger.
We won the championship game 35-0.
Yeah, that's hard.
Avi, you're right.
That's-
And still, they're saying, people are saying,
Against the best quarterback in the tournament. Never mind tier 2, Menachem Edelman. No bias. A lot of
we
trips.
talk about that for a second. Let's talk about that for a second. So,
Avi, you know it's his cousin, right? Avi, you know that's
yeah, sure. So Menachem, by the way, class act. He texted me after the tournament. He texted Moshe. Guy's a mensch. Okay, he's a real
Like all Edelmans. Continue.
real class act. Only respect. I must say, you know, he was the quarterback we were warned about. He understood, told us he's the other great team in tier 2, and honestly, he's got a great ball. He throws the ball nicely, and he's a good player. But
Wait, what was the score in that game, Avi, when you played him in the
we
second?
beat them we were up 2 with a minute left. They scored a touchdown, gave us the ball back with 20 seconds, and we beat them by a drive. So we were up two scores the whole game, and we beat them by 1. But yeah, we had first drive of the game. Simcha came on the press on Moshe, and Moshe wasn't impressed, whatever, cover. But Simcha guarded him well that game. Honestly, he's a good player, Simcha. We played together last year, too. But anyway, Menachem's the quarterback for Americas this upcoming year where Moshe will be representing. Shout out to the Moose.
Moshe, you already made your commitments? You already committed very early.
Shout
right?
out to the Moose.
It's common though.
But anyway, it was fun to beat him just so like I could tell Moshe, like, listen, you could go play for the Moosin, but we did take him down once. So
By the way, I just want to say, Yossi's hopping on.
oh,
You didn't waste any time.
Oh, anyone? Welcome, Yas.
Welcome, Yossi from Team Barber.
I heard Avi's not happy that I'm here.
Me?
Who, Avi Edelman?
No, Avi Kurtz.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
I am happy you're
Avi
here.
didn't want you to come on. He
I'm
wanted to
happy
know
you're
if
here.
you
Me and Moshe are getting praised for our success. I don't need them to say that we got carried in the
No,
podcast.
I'm gonna put this out there. They would have won without me. That's for sure.
No question.
Well, let's get into. I want to get into that. And Dave, I'm Dave. I'm sure you have a lot to say. I'm sure you came with your game plan. I feel like we're distracting and.
I'm just letting the boys enjoy. I don't know if
Honestly,
you want me
something
to
first,
set some
very interesting.
structure.
Before we get into the nitty-gritty of the tournament, I just want to say how this came about. This was really supposed to be, for those who don't know, Yosef Kreimler's team. It's actually funny how this all worked out.
Barbacoa?
No, you guys.
Oh, us.
I didn't think you guys were bringing a team. I spoke with Avi Kurtz. Avi said it's not going to happen. And Kreimler was supposed to bring a team from May guys. Maybe Moshe, he said Moshe, you were probably going to play with them. It was slowly falling apart. Avi resurrected it, and I'm glad he did because you guys ended up winning a championship. So
Yeah. There's a lot of background behind the scenes that went down, but thank God. Maybe we'll reveal some of that. But
Yeah, so let's get some structure here, Dave, and we'll get into. I want to get.
Okay,
into
yeah. So let's get into it. So Yonasan, first things first. How did you bring Moshe Levy and Avi Kurtz onto the into the tournament? How do you know these guys? How did you encourage them to do it? How did you recruit them? So on and so forth.
I think I know both of you originally from Dom's league. Moshe, by the way, credit to you. I think your name came up from like 5 different teams. People were asking me like, is Moshe Levy on the team? Is he available? Like I got your
He's
name.
a lion. He's a lion.
Big name in the tournament. A lot of people asking about Moshe Levy.
He's the Jewish wide receiver, obviously. Like,
Avi,
there's nothing else
was a
to
great
it.
QB. Felt like he had the talent to bring a great tier 2 team that could win it all. And again, I didn't think it would happen actually. A few months ago, I thought Avi wouldn't do it, and then Baruch Hashem, it all worked out.
Avi was getting a little lazy, but listen, we got the opportunity. The opportunity presented itself. We answered the call, and it's always a good thing the whole tournament when you hear on the sidelines, why are these guys playing tier 2? Why are they in tier 2? These guys are a tier 1 team. So listen,
It's true.
We did what we had to. I can blame Yonasan for putting us in tier 2, and you won't make that mistake again next year.
No. This is a tier. By the way, you're a
Dave,
not
what
just
are
a
they?
tier 1 team, a real like a competitor. Like you
Dave,
guys
what do
really
they
could
call
be
that? What Avi Kurtz just said? What do they call that, Dave? Let the audience know one more time.
Who said the people saying they're in tier 2?
Avi Kurtz just said that we did tier 2, we won tier 2, and now we know what we got to do next year. What is
Big
that called?
Briss energy. We call it Big Briss energy.
That's what we
That's
call
what
it
we
on the
call it in the
podcast.
HSL. Big Briss energy.
Listen, it's better than small burst energy.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that's exactly the point. So, Moshe, you're obviously
Speaking about small burst energy, can we get into that Lakewood team a little bit?
Which Lakewood team are you
He's with
talking?
Team Baby in the championship.
I want to talk about the LBA hoodie that was on Ellie Siegel the whole tournament.
Oh wow. Okay.
How does word spread so fast? That's a quick.
Teams are allowed to represent. I mean, you're supposed to wear your.
Wait, let's let Moshe talk. What did you want to say about it, Moshe?
It's Avi. Oh,
Avi.
I mean, Avi. Sorry, yeah.
Listen, HSL is trying to imperialize all out here, trying to take over territory. And LBA doing what they're doing and a great job. You know, we brought some of the studs out here. Malcolm Lieberman, good player, likes to chirp. He's a great player. And like that's a team of guys like you would not be able to expect no football. Like I saw one of these guys, Big Yamaka, go deep and like came down on two of the guys in Weissman's team, came down with a big ball. I'm like, how'd the ball even end up in his hands? But like all of a sudden, then I come, everyone's wearing white, one guy's wearing black. So I inquire, and my tight end, Yehuda Gamza, lets me know that it was like he was making a statement actually.
Yeah, so that statement right there, like, man, first of all, it's good hock. We like the hock. It's good hock. You know,
we like the hock of it.
We love the hock.
Everyone's friends. We like the hock.
Yeah, we after some deliberation, we don't want to call anyone out for doing anything on purpose. I don't think it was done on purpose. I think it was done just very nonchalant. I don't even think he knew.
He was cold, right? He must have been a little chilly.
Avi,
Yeah.
You know what's great about high schoolers? They smell phony from a mile away. You can't BS a BSer, and that's what high school kids are. Absolutely, adolescents. You can't BS them. They smell it from a mile away.
My take as commissioner, my take is everyone. We like that we're bringing a bunch of different leagues together. You know, Dom's League, LBA, RJFL. You know, AFI, and everyone's entitled to represent their league. Obviously, players should be wearing their team jersey, but it's cool in a way that everyone's trying to represent their league and show like, yeah, we're the best league. You know, LBA is the best league. You know, RJFL is the best league. Dom's the best. Like,
and 5 times on both. So.
There were a bunch of
football is by far the best.
By the way, there were a few LBA sweatshirts that I saw being worn in addition outside, and even in MSL. I think what's his face Rosen was repping MSL with MSL sweatshirt.
Rosen was repping MSL with all his hair, in all his glory.
In all his glory. That's right.
We don't get merch in 5 cents, so it's not really.
Whoa! What 5 towns are you talking about? HSL gives out merch. Oh, okay.
It's about Dom's
shirt. It's not very nice.
Moshe Levy, Ellie Hershkovitz wants you to speak up.
Yeah, Moshe.
I'm trying to get Googie on the podcast.
What's that?
Googie, Akiva Guggenheim just texted me. I'm watching right now. I have no place to be on this. Let's get him on. Come on.
Get him on. No, get him on. We're gonna ask him questions. We'll have a question or two.
The boys want him on.
We want to see the big Briss energy. Avi, can you also show us your championship trophy? Moshe, I have
there it is.
Yes, he is.
Moshe, I have a question for you, going straight for the jugular. How do you have such confidence on the football field, but so little confidence on the podcast?
Ooh.
I don't know. I guess I'm just not smart. I'm not a big talker.
Those are different things.
He saves his talking for the field.
The last 4 years, I've been speaking for me. So
He plays for me, and I speak for him. So like, I'm just like, yo, we're playing here tonight. Show up and bring the game, and like, he gets that, and I get us the games.
Everyone has their talents, you know.
There he is.
There we go.
There he is. Good morning. Good morning.
Himself.
Good
Mr.
morning,
$2
America.
at a time.
Guys, you know, like the podcast, good. You know the show, Good Morning Football. This one's gonna be called Good Morning Akiva.
Good morning, Akiva.
You know, I gotta say I have a special love for Akiva Guggenheim because I've been watching the donations come in, and like every couple of hours, every time I'd see a donation come in, I'd be like excited. I'd get a little excitement. Maybe it'll be $10,000, maybe it'll be $1,000, Maybe it'll even be $72, and it's like $1 with Akiva Guggenheim, 45 cents with Akiva Guggenheim,
Oh, every
$6 with Akiva Guggenheim. And at first, I was like, what is this? And then I realized this guy is out there knocking on doors. What's that?
Yeah, door to door.
Yes, he gave me the call. He said, "Yo, try it out," and I pulled through.
You really did. It's good to have you here. So are you in the same high school as Moshe and Avi Kurtz?
No,
What school do you go to?
Mesivta Tiferes Shmuel.
Tiferes Shmuel?
Yeah.
Okay, and you guys are in what school?
That's not Torah.
Akiva, you're not a Waterbury?
What the code name is that, Akiva?
No, Waterbury.
Wasn't it Waterbury?
You're in Waterbury, no?
Yeah.
What's the
first-
code name? That's not very Waterbury. You
Isn't
Akiva's in Shidduchim, clearly. He's trying
Akiva,
to...
you asked Ari Weiss for $250. We won't say you're in Waterbury.
No, that's just
That's
50.
just Stira. Arya Weiss gives you money and you won't rep Waterbury.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it's called.
Right.
so how do you-
It's probably because of the debacle of a season the Waterbury basketball team had in the Yeshiva League. That's probably
Sorry.
right.
It could be that.
Sorry.
It could be that.
Yo, guys, me and Moshe are having some conflict. For the first time ever, we're doing two people in one spot, and he's telling me I'm not giving him enough room.
That's by the way why I suggested you guys do it from different cameras before Dave here shut me down.
No, this is how it starts. By the way, this is how they break up his teammates. It starts with like, you're not giving me enough room on the podcast. Before you know it, Moshe has a different QB, and it all goes downhill from there.
Did anyone else is Yossi Levinger still here? Or did he slowly make
No,
his
he
way up?
left. I don't think he was getting enough airtime. It wasn't his style.
Yeah, you know Yossi. He needs the love. Without
By the
All
way,
right, let's get back
Avi
on track.
Kurtz
Let's
really
get back on
calls it
track
like
here.
it is. Wow.
Dave, let's get back on track here, Dave.
It's very hard. It's a very unruly podcast. So, Moshe and Avi, you go to high school with each other. You play football together. Googie, you play with them also?
I actually played with Kurtz a while back. And I played with him at Tuesday Night League.
Steven, tell them about our Shoresh team. Give a shout out to Natan.
Please give a shout out to Nathan. Nathan's been asking for a shout out.
So we had a team in Camp Shoresh together. We made a team. We specialized in defense. I don't think we have a touchdown in 5 games.
What's Shoresh?
Where's the camp?
Camp Shoresh. I forgot what they called us, Akiva. What was it? The Legion of Goon? Something like that.
Something like that. I forgot.
It was something great. And we took a chip home then. But that was Akiva, yeah. Akiva's more of a ball player.
Ball meaning basketball.
Akiva actually showed up to the tournament. He woke up late, obviously. That was predicted. Vegas had those odds. Showed up in the middle of the game. He's like, yo, I need cleats. So I give him a pair of cleats. He steps on the field. He is sleeping through the whole first game. Comes one game of playoffs. Presses Morty Moscow up. He didn't have a catch the whole game. And then he tells me the next game, he's like, yo, I'm too hurt to play the championships. I'm out.
Wait, you talking about Sunday or Shoresh?
And Sunday. So Akiva had a good run, but yeah.
Did great.
Yeah.
So who recruited you? Who gave you the call to join Avi Kurtz's team? Did Avi himself call you?
Avi himself did.
Wow, was it a tough sell?
It was more like, yo, Keeves, we gotta hop back on that Shoresh grind, we gotta kind of chip together. We're going tier 1, obviously. Now go tier 2. I'm like, we can easily win tier 1. Then
talk about big Briss energy, Avi.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's
They
right.
have
We love to hear
confidence.
that.
They know they're good. They know they're good.
We love to hear that. We absolutely love to hear that.
So next year, you guys think you'll for sure be in tier 1.
Yeah, definitely.
all night to win.
We're winning that thing. Not just
You're winning next year. And I have a question. You guys watched the championship game of tier 1. What did you think of the talent?
It's
By the way, did you see that he was eligible for that
Yeah.
play?
Let's talk about this for
Oh,
a
this is
second.
big. This is a big controversy. about
Everybody,
Dave.
everybody, and I hope that Menachem Lieberman is watching this podcast because
Avi and
let's-
Dave, there's a big controversy they're about to talk about. This
Let's
is
talk
huge.
about this, and I don't think Avi Edelman's going to be so happy with what I have to say, but this is actually we rewatched the video, and Gabriel Bennett circled something into me. I don't know if you could see this.
Yeah.
Morty Dax stepped out of bounds on his cut back in and was ineligible. Big miss by the ref. LBA should have taken home that
Dave,
championship.
I'm not sure if you know all the football rules. The way it works is if a receiver steps out of bounds on a play, he's ineligible to catch to be the first person to catch the ball.
And that was on the
Out of
game.
bounds where? On the sideline or in the back of the end zone?
On the back end zone, the game-winning play.
I'll give it to them.
Once
You can't call it.
Once Surly was scrambling around, he threw it. So everyone was focusing on was Morty in the end zone or not. Now, obviously, he was in the end zone. You watch where he landed on the video. The bigger miss was in a championship game. There should be a back end zone ref. Morty.
Why was there no back? Why was there no back end zone ref? We
He's
had
right.
three refs.
But we hired three. Avi, there was 3 refs per game in the championships. We had.
Where was the third ref? Was there one ref on the goal line, one on the back right, one behind the quarterback? Is that what happened?
Dom was definitely the front of the end zone, and the young guy was all the way down there by the line. I don't know where the third guy was. Maybe he's on the right side.
No, the LBA
hard-
ref was
it's a
right
hard
next to
call
me.
It's a hard call to make in the championship, but
You can't
So
even
what you're
see
saying is that they didn't really win. That's what you're saying. Avi, tell
I'm not saying they didn't really listen. I have only.
You're
only
saying
respect-
Ellie Siegel once again is a champion. You're
That's what
saying
you said.
you just can't
Say
get
like
the
it
guy
is.
from the guy just doesn't lose championships. You're saying even when he loses, he still wins another championship.
I have a lot of respect for.
So you
what's
come
going
on here, you rip Ellie Siegel for wearing an LBA sweatshirt, and then 5 minutes later, you tell us how Ellie Siegel once again wins a championship.
We're not ripping on Ellie Siegel. We're just stirring the pot. Listen, listen. I wanted 5 Towns to win too. I was not liking the energy coming from LBA's team, but I'm just.
You're calling it as it is. You're calling it as it is. You're
I'm
saying
just
push
telling
comes
you-
to shove.
I'm just telling you
LBA
what was
has
on
yet
the-
again won another
Let
championship.
me ask the receivers though. Moshe and Akiva, are you scared to go against those guys? You think those guys can take you? Can you take those guys?
No, definitely not.
Which
I can
guys?
take
Which guys?
I don't know. Maybe not.
Menachem
I've
Lieberman,
guarded-
Joe Podolski, Tzvi Lieber.
I've guarded Zinwell.
Yeah,
before.
Brock Lieberman's got. And but I gotta give him credit. That guy. That guy's good. He's a top receiver, but he's like, yeah, we could beat him.
There we go.
We could beat him.
Tier 1 next.
Definitely could beat him.
This is very interesting because
Without Levenger too.
I would think. I mean, I don't know.
Levenger. No. Levenger is the key to all your games winning. That's it. You're not winning anyone without Levenger.
Yeah, I wanted to get in. I wanted to get into that. So, your guys' first game without Levenger, who'd you guys play against? You guys played against a team that Levenger was on originally.
No, we played
Wasser.
Ani's Kitchen,
Annie's
Wasser, and
Kitchen.
Alta Barakov.
And what'd you do against Annie's Kitchen?
Well, I think Dave Levenger provided us with some highlights yesterday. It's out there. You could see.
What was the final score in that first game?
I think we won by like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, we won
Whoa.
30. They
Did Robbie
scored
Davidowitz
twice.
play in that game?
Yeah.
How was he?
Davidowitz on the other team?
No, Rabbi Davidowitz, the rabbi himself with the big beard.
Oh,
Did
he didn't. He didn't.
Oh no, I have no idea what that is.
He didn't play.
He
you
didn't.
would've
He was
known
wearing
if he
cleats
played.
all the time. I don't think he touched the field though.
So did you guys have any competitive games?
Yeah, we played against
Edelman.
Menachem Edelman in the semifinals. We did it to ourselves. We were up like I think 2 or 3 scores going to halftime, and we got stopped on 2 4th downs. But that was our closest game. And then
What was the final?
we won that game by 8. We put up 3 scores, so I don't know, it was like 21-13, something like that. But we won our first playoff game against Shloyo 40-0, and we won our championship game 35-0.
Wow.
The real
That was
PJ.
complete dominance.
46.
And everyone's always hating on me for not getting good footage and highlights of tier 2. When you're winning games 35 and 40-0. How could I stand
There's a
on
lot of
video?
highlights.
No, you could have had Dave. You could have had Dave be by our field the whole game.
That's a lot
You
of
guys,
highlights.
you guys could have made the whole video
35
off that.
points. highlights.
Moshe, I got your trick play. Moshe, I have your trick play touchdown on video.
Somehow, Yossi Levenger got a personal highlight reel of all his great
Yeah.
plays, which wasn't in our contract. I hope Yossi paid him privately because I don't know how much he was missing all the other players, busy getting all of Yossi's sacks, which is pretty funny.
You should know, by the way, that last play, the play that's been going viral, like Jonas's been messaging me that, people have been talking to him about it. We even got Sach Felberg messaged me that people have been talking to him about it. I walked into Chavetz Chaim this morning, and I had 3 separate individuals who, aren't in the hack when it comes to football. It's guys a couple years younger than me, learning Ben Azmanim, stark guys, saying, Avi, I heard about the tournament. I saw that last play. That's crazy. I really think it's making rounds, by the way. It's pretty incredible how much of an impact that.
Nuts. It was honestly the catch gets a lot.
Yo, you know what happened?
That's the way to end it.
So I was in the barbershop yesterday. Also, I got a call from our Kayla. She was like, yo, congratulations on your big win yesterday.
Wow.
Ah, thank you very much. And I'm like, yeah.
And there he is, Kiva Guggenheim. What a story.
By the way, I thought you were actually building up to Brian Kalish himself knows. Makes me feel special.
I'll tell you the two craziest parts of that champion and that last play was everyone thought the ball was going to Zinn. For Morty Dax to make that play,
always going to be on.
it was, and I think what as a quarterback, what doesn't get love is how did the ball get there?
Crazy.
He was turned around.
That was a prayer. That was a full-on prayer. No.
The ball Surely was turned around. Funny enough, you want to talk about next generation of how like we're young. So my tight end Yehuda Gamza, we played we've been playing Tuesday night since 10th grade, and against Dax. Dax has always been the big beast of that league. So funny enough, Shirley Dax works for Gamza's father. So every time, it's always like, okay, fine, you beat us in football, but you're still working for my dad. By
the way, yeah, Dave, that's who he asked for a raise. Yes, that's.
Oh, you mean there's more to the joke?
Yeah. Avi, we said yesterday, Swirly came in with so much confidence. Next day, he went into work and asked for a raise, but it was Gamza's dad, and Gamza also won. So yeah.
So he said we're even. He said we're absolutely even. It's really, really cool that thank God the tournament went really, really well. I think for the most part, and other than these guys from Smash Us over here, just absolutely killed everyone. I think it was very competitive for the most part. It was great vibes, it was a good chill. But it's literally like Derek Jeter's walk-off hit, last at bat at Yankee Stadium. You can't predict a better ending, especially for Tier 1. You can't do it. You have two absolute best of their best from Lakewood and from Five Towns, people who never play against each other. You have both refs repping each city. You have, Dom told me he made sure, because him and Joe are both Five Towns refs, he made sure to have the third ref who strictly does LBA in there as well. And just all came together, and to end it with that play, it's absolutely nuts. I'm getting a lot of mixed messaging on that last play. Certain guys are telling me there was absolutely guys are telling me there was absolutely no skill whatsoever other than Dax high pointing that ball. He said the throw, like Googie was just saying, was he just chucked it up while he was spinning around, just chuck it to the end zone. Then you have other guys saying the fact that he got that off in that moment is absolutely insane. So
he was facing the other way.
40-yard backwards, prime Russell Wilson move. Prime Russell Wilson right there.
Well, timeout. Ellie Melk Amsel's asking, do we get free burgers from Smash House?
We will ask Smash House. We did give Smash House some really good publicity with this win, so maybe we'll ask him. You never know. Smash House is one of our kindest, nicest, and most giving sponsor, probably. I won't say most. They're all giving. They're all nice, but Smash House is up there with everyone.
We're trying to get. Once I thought once we get. It's funny because Daniel Gwartz, who's from May, he had to actually, shout out to the Modocs May. He actually didn't have Ben Ismanim yet, so he had to miss yeshiva. He had to miss yeshiva for that game, and the big thing was just he might get exposed when he gets put on Smash House's Instagram, but
I actually posted it, and Smash House didn't. They liked the photo, they didn't repost it, and they reposted.
Maybe everything. Because we didn't use him as our caterer. We wanted to, but it was too far away. Unfortunately, we wanted to use him as the caterer, but it didn't work out. But I have a couple things to follow up on, guys. First of all, the Modocs May. I'm from a yeshivish. What?
No. That was unnecessary shade. May's a great place.
No. I like the shade. I'm from a yeshivish background myself. My wife is Modocs, and I'm from Teaneck. She's as Modocs as it gets. I've been screaming at Yonason for months.
Dave, May's not actually Modocs. He's kidding, by the way.
May's not a Modocs school. I was just making a joke because they didn't give
off. Actually Modocs.
They didn't give off yet.
Anyway, my point was, how do we get more Modocs teams at the tournament? We want as many teams as possible.
They're not good enough.
Dave, he's right. They're great at basketball. A lot of them are not as tremendous at football.
You mean they can't even compete in Tier 2?
We play against May in the Netzach League. That's where me and Moshe played against Daniel. It was actually funny. Me and Moshe from being in camp together, young. Anytime, when are we really getting to play? We're never going to be on the same league team or anything. So anytime we play against another intercamp game, and they would make an all-star team, we'd get to play together, and every other camp would be like, yo, that's unfair, that's crazy, but when me, Moshe, and Akiva played together in camp, but we played together in 10th grade in the May League, and we had a devastating playoff loss to May, actually, in 10th grade, the JV season. And, you know, the next year, you know, I take full accountability. We actually just didn't get the offense moving that game. But the next year, when I was in 11th grade, I wasn't the quarterback. I played defense that year. There was a 12th grader who was the quarterback. And again, we lost to the championships to May. Also a terrible loss. So,
Avi Gluck?
yeah.
So you got a lot going. You've got a lot of tough losses to May.
So then that's where it comes off.
Yep.
So then
Got his number.
Avi Gluck's a fantastic quarterback. But
Why didn't Avi Gluck play in the tournament, Yonasan?
Why didn't Avi Gluck play in the tournament? He was asked. It didn't work out in the end. I don't know. Shame. It's a shame. I think he missed out. I think Avi would have loved this.
But then this past year in camp, playing on a baseball team with Moshe, which we started off because we also that's where majority of our championships are actually on the diamond. But we
It's tied now.
it's
What happened in RSK that last year? I forgot.
very nice, Avi. You're solid. Listen, you didn't even play the game we lost. You were on the bench.
Avi Kurtz, here's my question for you. Avi Kurtz, here's my question. Do you think after seeing this win from you guys now, the May guys will be more roused to bring a team like?
No, so let me tell you what happened. So we playing baseball together this summer, and I don't know if you guys ever watched Akiva. You ever watch like MLB avoiding the tag videos where like you get all fancy with it?
Mhm.
Like,
Sure.
So I tried doing one of those coming home. Never spin move on a baseball field because my body spun and my cleat was stuck. I broke my foot.
Oh my gosh.
First trip to the ER. Shout out to Ari Allswing for taking me there. I heard he was on the podcast.
Ari Allswing is part of the biggest debacle in HSL history, debatably. But okay, go ahead.
I'm not going to get into that.
Okay, Avi, another time, another round.
Yeah,
Debacle.
Okay.
Avi,
but-
The link,
story, yeah?
Ari Allswing, the link home card at the bottom.
so I wasn't
Anyways, yeah.
sure.
Oh, that's what you mean. Okay.
That's why I wasn't sure what the deal was going to be this year. Coming off the injury, I didn't make a team in the Tuesday night league. Wasn't sure, but I made it back for the season. That's our season, and we played against. Where do we find ourselves? Against May in the championships.
Yeah, are you guys teams in the league?
What did you say?
Severe underdogs too.
One more time.
Are you guys the only two teams in the league? You versus May.
No, yeah, it sounds like that. It sounds like that, but so the only two viable options. So we play against May again in the championship, coming off the championship loss and our loss in the semifinals, and you know, we had it with them, and with 9 seconds left, Daniel Gortz, who's on our team, all love, only respect. Sorry that I'm calling you out. Moshe turns to me. I threw Moshe the ball once that game, which is a mistake. No quarterback can make. And Moshe turns to me and he says, "Just give me the ball." He says, "Just because he's on me doesn't mean you can't throw it to me. Give me the ball." So I was like, "All right, what are you running?" So I sent them on a post. 9 seconds left, and we hit a buzzer beater touchdown to win the championship. So I texted Gortz. When I offered him to play, I'm like, "Good thing you're on our team this time." And listen, we took another championship home together. So yeah, me and Moshe we're going for a three-peat in the NetSox softball this season. We won the last two, and we won football this past year. We took home the gauntlet, and we took home HSL spring fall softball. So
Avi, at such a young age, what else do you have to accomplish in this world?
we're five championships strong. So if you ask me, I got 5 rings on this finger. The thing left to accomplish is just to put a ring on the other one.
I'll have to get into the next question. Next question. Which one of your rings so far is your favorite?
Definitely.
Guys, he's not Michael. Let's relax a little bit, guys.
Keith, put him in his place. There we go, Keith.
Yeah,
There we go.
No, but serious question. We asked this to the tier 1 guys. I'm curious.
He had me in Moshe.
Yeah.
I want to hear from all of you. Which one of those championships are your favorites? So how does the Gauntlet Championship line up?
Wait, Avi, one second. Before you get to Avi Kurtz, are you even sore? Because if they were just carrying you the whole time, like, did your feet even hit the ground?
Oh, you're saying good. So I didn't play defense. You're actually good, but
You can't really carry a quarterback. He's got him.
I know. I'm
No.
kidding. No, you played great.
gotta get
Avi, I
the
saw
bullet.
you played great. You
Listen.
played great. I'm just playing.
I'll take being carried because that means I win GM of the year because I did build the team.
Yeah. No,
So what are
you
your
played great.
favorites? Which one are your? You won so many championships. Which one's your
I've been
favorite?
doing
Which one
Moshe's.
talked about?
What's Moshe's take?
Definitely the May championship this year. And
Yeah, that was the best ending.
I've been trying for 3 years. And
You know, it was Moshe's. It was our first championship in the league together. So like every year was fine. It was such a good way to go out. Like especially as the underdogs. Like a lot. Honestly, shout out to the whole NetSox team. The defense had a lot of heart in it. we made it happen. And funny enough, my center called in sick the night before. The guy who played center that game never snapped a day in his life. So that was a fun game. But if not for the football one, just in the baseball world, because that's where we have 4 of them.
Avi, do you see these comments I'm posting? Does it show up on your screen?
Yeah,
Like,
I see them.
Do you see that?
Our JV one, our JV softball chip, we went 32 scoreless playoff innings. So that
Wait, you do or you don't see the
No,
comments?
we don't.
I'm the
They're
only
not
one. I see them.
Oh, the guys are cooking you. I mean, it sounds like you didn't get a Tier 1 AFI championship.
No, he didn't play in the AFI yet. He's in high
we're,
school.
we're in 12th grade.
Okay. Tier 1 AFI championship. Got it.
That's not
Also,
Avi.
you took
They wouldn't
divorce
play
says
AFI.
it wasn't complete dominance.
On Sunday?
That's it. It's
I don't know what
divorce.
you're
It's
talking
divorce said. It's divorce said.
It's divorce said it wasn't complete dominance. Yeah.
He's a great player.
He's a great player. Made a nice slant. I'm him. Man, it was down 13-0. He's telling us that he's him. Listen,
Avi,
he's a
go
great-
easy. He broke his hand. Go easy on him.
he's a great. I've played with Yitz before. Great player. Honestly, he's got shifty route runner, and he's got the most dog in him out of anyone in the corner. of the
So
field.
one second. Akiva, have you won anything?
Don't
Sunday,
do him like that, Avi. Don't do him
Sunday,
like that.
baby.
Nah, I'm saying I've heard about all this winning besides Sunday. Is that it? Is that all the winning you've experienced?
experience. Let's see. I beat Kurtz actually in the championship in May.
1 second. Akiva, getting a phone call from a Michaelish is a win in itself. That's it.
I'm not a big football guy. To be, I'm more of a basketball guy.
Yeah, the
No, I'm
good guys
asking
in general.
everything. I'm asking everything. How does this Gridiron Gauntlet Championship line up against your other wins? What was your most
We're gonna
enjoyable win?
get the shorts tournament though.
My best win's gotta be versus Kurtz, obviously, and Levy. I mean, what was it? Grade Netzach? 10th grade
Basketball?
basketball win.
We took the shorts tournament home though.
Yo, let's get basketball off this topic.
Yeah,
Twice.
Avi, question you. Back to football. Back to the gauntlet for a second. Avi, you said you're ready for Tier 1 next year, right?
More than ready.
Are you aware we might have Avrami Zegelbaum next year, Dovi Mann, Salah Cease, Mayor Baum, a lot of guys talking of coming next year to this tournament. More competition, better teams. You know, everyone said the talent was the craziest they've ever seen this year. What do you think next year is going to be? It's going to be insane.
We're only getting better.
Yitzchak Devor said against you wasn't a beatdown. Don't act cute, Avi. You don't know what's coming. No, he didn't say that last part.
I know
listen.
where you live.
I'm not throwing shade against Yitz, but he's taking the time to watch this thing, so someone's still stuck about Sunday, eh? Listen, they got a nice cute video of Yitz with the pointing to the camera, the whole thing. It was great for Shidduchim.
Moshe Zinn and Shalom Prager are unhappy that their game-winning TD is being called back by Avi Kurtz, and they want to come on to the what?
It's not being called back; it's being called out. Listen,
By the way-
no one's putting an asterisk next to their trophy like they won it, but it's just being just so they can know that Morty's got to watch his
Every time
feet.
they look at that trophy, they see that foot on the line. Let's just say that.
Yeah, that's right.
Kurtz, have
So
you
in other
seen?
words, in other words, there is an asterisk on the championship.
By the way, no, Avi, when we gave out their championship trophies, you see that thing on the top of the trophy, that guy? We put a line by that foot underneath
That's
it for
right.
their trophies.
That's right. Listen, they're a good team. I think Eichler, by the way, we just call him out how it is. He's an X factor. Man,
That
he's
backflip.
fantastic.
That back.
No, he's fantastic.
I had a question. Did he know? Oh my gosh, Shali Melech Hamzel said Avrami Zegelbaum is the biggest choke of all time. Did the back flipper guy Yoni Eichler? Did he know the camera was on him? He looks towards it, right?
Dave, the camera's always on him.
Anyway, Zinn is trying to convince Morty Dax to come on. I have a meeting at 12:30. I'm 2 minutes late. Do you guys want to keep going or should we wrap?
We're gonna have to wrap. We'll wrap, Dave. Let's wrap.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for coming
Final
on.
thoughts. Ask the final thoughts. What's final thoughts, Avi? What's your last take? Final take.
Avi Kurtz or Avi Edelman?
Avi Kurtz.
Tier 1 champs next
Listen,
year.
we got to give a lot of thanks to the man who made it happen. Avi Edelman, Dave Gottlieb, Jonas, you guys put in a lot of work, really.
Thanks,
Also,
Avi.
you guys, when you asked us to come on the podcast, I wasn't sure if it was too much calling, but we have to reciprocate for Tzedakah, for Cherry Hill. Listen,
There we go.
I felt bad for that rabbi. He got up there, and I don't think anyone knew what organization he was talking about. But anyway, we're coming for the chip next year, and there's a lot more where this came from. It's a pleasure of being
Yes.
young.
Before we go, I just want to say once again,
Jonas, filter out the wash talent. Anyone who's starting to lose their hair doesn't belong in the tournament.
I want to say before we go, it's all good fun. There's a lot of banter. People like to throw shade at other people. I think in the HSL in general, we have had these situations before where things were said, where voices were heard, where people took things personal or said some things that were personal. But at the end of the day, we are aware that sports is a world of its own. And outside of sports, it's a different world in a sense. Obviously, you have to be careful within the world of sports not to go too far. However, we do want to say a little bit of a disclaimer. It could be that I'm saying this out of insecurity, but I'm going to say it regardless, that all the hating and all the fun and all the banter is all in good love. At the end of the day, the point is that we should all show up and compete, and we just want the most talent. And if push comes to shove, the reason why people hate most of the time is because either of jealousy or of talent. And at the end of the day, when you have dealing with these tournaments at this level, you're dealing with a lot of talent, and a lot of talent leads to. And I'm trust me, I
gotta bounce off, Avi. I'm gonna leave. You could keep going though.
No, I just want to wrap it up. We're good to go. I just want to say a disclaimer.
I only went controversial because I was like, no one wants to hear about football for another.
We love it. We love
But I
love
controversy.
it. We love it. Avi, you were great. You guys were great.
So all those
Thanks,
players
guys.
are good players. Next
Smash
step, Joe
House
Rogan.
Tier 2 champions.
Next
Thank
step,
you for
Joe
coming
Rogan,
on.
baby.
Thank you,
Let's
Smash
go.
House.
Peace and love.
Guys, I hit stop. It's over. Guys, don't. I gotta run. I'm 5 minutes late. Leave the